Good morning, Messina Central High School families. It's Mr. Oliver. I'm reaching out to you this morning to talk to you a little bit during our second week of school back with live students to talk a bit about attendance. As always, with everything in this new world of school, we discover things that are working really, really well every week, and then some things that didn't work out so well. And I can see on the horizon some trouble with attendance. So I want to reach out with people now rather than waiting for it to become a problem. So the goal of this video today, forgive me, I need to move myself, um, is to talk about the different models of education that we're offering here. Just a quick review of that to kind of get you up to speed on the issue that we're having and to ask you for some help on it. And then I'm actually going to take a little bit of time to talk to you about the newest New York State Department of Health guidelines that just came out at the end of last week. That'll just kind of review what to do if your kid is sick and the process you're about to embark on if your kid is sick. So that's the goal of the video. Hopefully, I'll get this thing done in about 10 minutes, but you and I know I never get anything done in the time that I think I'm going to. Um, so, the quick review, and it will be very quick. The different models that we're offering at the high school right now would be our hybrid A model. And that's when students do work that's posted for them on Monday. The fancy word is asynchronous, but they do work posted on Monday that their teachers put up, but they don't have to meet live at a time with their classes. A students then go to live school on Tuesday, Thursday, and then they do remote school, so they follow their schedule on Wednesday, Friday. Our B students are the exact opposite of that. They do asynchronous material on Monday, they go to live school on Wednesday and Friday, and they attend school according to their schedule at home remotely on Tuesday and Thursday. Our remote students are exactly what they sound like. They do asynchronous material on Monday, and then they go to 4 days a week in Google Classroom. They never come live to school. And then their opposite would be our 4 day a week students, which are students that are doing their digital Monday work at home, and then they come to school live on Tuesday to Friday. So those are the different models. And the reason I bring them up is anywhere I said the student comes to school on a particular day, we really need them to be in school on that particular day. And I'll explain to you what's going on. What we have going on at school right now is we have a group of students, and it's not a large group, but it's enough that I made this video and I wanted to get the message out to everybody now before it became an issue. We have students that are supposed to be going to school live on any given day, depending on whether they're an A or a B or a 4 day a week kid. They're supposed to be here, but they're opting not to come to school, and but they are going to the remote classes. So they're supposed to be here live. They're not coming to school live, but they're going to their remote classes, and that's creating kind of a mess for us on our end because we have to figure it out. Because in our world, if they're supposed to be live and they're not live, they're absent. So we're trying to figure this out. We're making lots of phone calls. We're doing everything we can, but we need to reach out to families and get a little bit of your support on this one because I think kind of what's happening at home is sometimes the kids are just waking up. Maybe they didn't get enough sleep. Maybe they're any number of things could be going on, and they're just kind of saying, I'm not coming in. Or in some cases, maybe parents are already gone to work and they're just opting not to come into school. And this message is meant for everybody to say that that's not a choice that you can make. If you're supposed to be here, think about it like regular school year. When you're supposed to be here, you're supposed to be here. And if you're not here, that's going to be a problem for us. So if you're not going to be here, so if your students are not coming to school on a hybrid day, we would say that a parent, preferred a parent, but in extreme cases, if parents aren't able to or they're out the door or whatever, it could be a student, but we would prefer a parent to call or email the school to tell us that your kid is out and why they're out. It's very important information for us to have, and I'll tell you why it's so important for us to have in a few minutes. You can see right on the screen the nurse's phone number. You can call her there, or you can email her, which she's easy to find on the webpage. If you call us and tell us why they're out, then we can take care of everything that we need to take care of. Your student can go to classes remotely and be marked present because we know where they are, and everything's okay. If you don't call us, then we have to assume that the student is supposed to be at school. So even if they go to the remote classes, they're going to get marked as absent. Plus, we're going to spend time that day trying to track you down or your kid down to figure out why they're not in school. The issue, and I'm not saying that this following issue happens in abundance, but I am thinking it does happen. Parents, this is me reaching out directly to you to counteract a statement which may be going on in your house. And if you see my wry smile, you'll know why. A kid can't just wake up in the morning and choose to be remote rather than hybrid. As the parent of a high school kid, I could totally see a kid waking up in the morning saying, "Mom, I'm just not going to go to school today. I'll go to classes remote. It's not a big deal," and they don't care. Well, this is me looking at the camera saying, "We do care. If they're supposed to be here in school, we want them here in school. We don't want them to wake up and decide not to be here at school because it causes a problem for us. So if you're supposed to be here, we need you to be here. And parents, if they wake up and say it's not a big deal, remember my face saying it is a big deal. Thank you. So have them in school when they're supposed to be in school. Because what happens is if they're not in school, then we start asking the question, why? And in the world of COVID 19, when we start asking the question, why, things get a little bit challenging. Because if your kid is sick, then there's this really huge protocol that we have to work our way through. Now, I'm not expecting any parent to read all of this, but you need to know that this is a protocol that's put out by the New York State Department of Health that dictates can your child go to school and what happens when they can't. So the things on here that everybody knows is if you've been exposed, you can't come to school. They left the country, they can't come to school. If they've been in contact with a person, they can't come to school. If they go outside of the state to any of the states that are on sort of the red list for New York State, they can't come to school. Um, but it also means that if they have any of these symptoms that are new or worsening in the last 10 days, they can't come to school. And if you take a look at this list of symptoms, this is a pretty common list of symptoms. So if you end up with any of this stuff, your kids still can't go to school. To get to the decision to come to school, you have to be able to answer no to all of this, and then your kid can come to school. So why is that a big deal? Well, once your kid is sick and they have some of these symptoms, you have to clear a process to get your kid back into school. So when a child wakes up in the morning and says, "Hey, I'm sick today," you need to know that you're into this land immediately. As soon as somebody says they're sick, we're immediately thinking COVID. And the student in many cases, could go as far as needing a test or going to see their doctor, even if they're just waking up saying, "Mom, I don't feel good. I don't want to go to school today." This is the point to make sure that they go to school so they don't enter this land, because nobody wants to wake up because they don't feel like going to school and end up with the really long COVID nasal pharyngeal swab tickle in their brain just because they said they didn't feel good. I've had it done. Doesn't feel good. Doesn't hurt, but it doesn't feel good. So that's why we want to make sure that you're getting your kids to school. Once they say they're sick, to get them back in the door, we actually have to go through a whole kind of clearing them back in process, at which every step of the way they either need they need a COVID test, or they have to see their doctor, or maybe both. And if they don't, they have to stay out on isolation. And quite frankly, if they stay out on isolation without a test, it'll also come into the world of contact tracing, and maybe everybody in your house will be. So we don't want to say we're sick when we're not sick. That's the only thing. If you get nothing else out of this video, don't let them say they're sick when they're not sick. If they're just trying to stay out of school, tell them to get up, get on a bus, and go to school. So that would be the point of this video today. If you have any questions about any of this, by all means, give me a call or an email. This isn't meant to be an exhaustive review of these protocols. It's just meant to give you a little glimpse about how we have to think about this stuff when a kid is out. So when your kid is saying, "Hey, I'm going to stay home today," and you know they're not sick, just please give them a little and get them to school for us. We'd appreciate it. So in the end, I would simply say I hit the wrong button. I would like you to we need your help in the fact that when your student is sick, we need you to call us, because we have to ask you a bunch of questions right away. So when your kid is actually sick, if they're giving you symptoms, if they look like they're different than normal, please give us a call, because we need to know what's going on. The second thing is if your kid is just, and I have kids, so I, I'm not saying this to be mean. If they're just having a day where they don't feel like going to school and you're inclined to sort of let them, don't. Make sure they're coming to school on hybrid days if that's when they need to be here. And then last, as always, if you have any questions, just give us a call. So that's the help I need. Call us when they're sick and don't let them stay home if they're not. Thank you. The last few things I wanted to cover with you are simple things. I just wanted to let all of our families know that so far, so good. After a week, things are going very, very well at the high school. I will knock on wood and just say things are going well. I'm not going to say anything more than that because if I do, I'm tempting fate. I want to remind families that we don't want you to do this, but you can elect to go remote at any time if you want. I would say things are stable and secure enough that there's no need to do that, but if you wanted to, you can. And I also wanted to remind families that very quickly here we'll be asking parents that are remote now if you want your kids to come back after 10 weeks. It'll be almost time to let us know that soon. I'm going to pre warn people that those are going to be tough decisions. It's going to be based upon space. Not everybody that wants to come back is probably actually going to get in the door. So please pay attention for this information when it comes out and know that I still have to do social distancing. So if I have more students than I can fit in the building, then we can't bring them back. But the good news is there is going to be a chance to get more kids in the door pretty soon here. So that's all I have today. As usual, thank you for your time. I hope I made it under 10 minutes, but I don't think I did. Have a great day, everybody, and we'll see you soon.